Hello, good day, and welcome to each one of you today on this feast day of Our Lady of the Seven Sorrows. Seven Sorrows, fullness of love. Mary, Queen of Martyrs. And I use this this picture of Mary. It's not the traditional picture of Our Lady of Sorrows, but just look at this child. It might be Jesus, but it also might be each one of us. Look at this child, how he's looking at his mother. We see his forehead and his eyes that are like full of sorrows. He's suffering. Something is disturbing him, and he doesn't know what he's going to do. But he's looking to Mary, to his mother, to find confidence, to find faith, to find security. And just look at his little hand, how he's holding on to Mary. This is Our Lady of Compassion. This is Our Lady who has her eyes turned towards the Lord. And we have a psalm, the Psalm 34, that says, "Whoever looks at him will find joy and security." And Mary sang that psalm very often. And she's the one, even on the way of the cross, she's the one, Mary, who gave to Jesus another time the security of her faith. When you have somebody who believes in God at your side, maybe your faith might be fragile, but the faith of the other person becomes a rock for you. And the faith of Mary, when she saw Jesus suffering, she never told Jesus, "Oh, poor little Jesus, stop that. No, 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 that's too hard for you. You're my beloved son." She looked at him and said, "Thy will be. I want your reign to come. I want, God, your will to be done, and I want it with my son, Jesus." Mary was so close to Jesus in her faith. But which sorrows did Mary carry so much? For sure, all the sorrows of her son, and also all our sorrows. Because when Mary sees us suffering, like a real mother, she suffers also. But she suffers also when she sees us together, making one serve for the other. She suffers for that. All our infidelities toward the Lord, she will also suffer. But she'll stay close to us and she'll help us. And she will tell us, "Look at me a little bit. Permit me, let me help you. Let me be your mother and show you the way. I'll show you the way that I went through, and I'll show you the way in which I educated Jesus, and probably that would help you." Just imagine her humility talking to us like that. No, no. She's a real mother, and she wants to transmit us her confidence, her faith, but the confidence, the security that she had in God, her Father. She knew him. She knew that nothing was impossible for him, and she wants to transmit us this when the cross is in our lives. And Mary had this complete communion with Jesus. And at the time of the cross, very often in our lives, we'll say, "I'm not going back to church anymore. I'm not going to communion. I'm not going to confession anymore. I'm not praying anymore. I don't want to know anything about Jesus." Yee, that's the time you need him more than anything. And Mary just comes close to us and say, "Look at him. Look at his smile. Look at his eyes that are closed, because he's always thinking of you. He's praying for you. He loves you. Don't be afraid of him. Go to him as you are. You need him. Go to him." So Mary was in communion with Jesus, and she wants to teach us also this same communion. And Mary was always with the Holy Spirit. And Mary knew that everything that she was suffering had had a price, but also could bear fruits. And she wants to teach us the same thing, that all our sufferings, united with the sufferings of Jesus, bear fruits for our brothers and sisters. And this is part of our spiritual maternity, paternity. So, and this day is not a day to cry. This day is the day to rejoice, because as the Father glorified his Son by the resurrection, he also glorified Mary by her assumption. But he will glorify each one of us also. So let us be today glorified in the compassion of Mary, and let us become ourselves compassion for our brothers. Let's say that now this is you. At the beginning, you were here, and now you are the mother, you are the father, full of compassion. And how can you do this? By your presence to your brother. Sometimes people are sick, or a friend of yours just has a bad news, or he just learned that somebody died in his family, and you say, I'd like to go and see him, but I don't know what to say. Don't say anything. It's not the time to talk. It's just this time to go, to be present, to listen, and at the end, to encourage. That's all we can do. So this is the compassion of Mary, and this is the gift that she wants to give us today. That is the starting of our own glorification, to be like her, full of presence, of listening, and also of encouragement, of compassion. Have a wonderful day, and don't miss any chance you have today to be compassionate for somebody.